role. Okay, so now coming to the batteries, already you have been studied about the basic parameters of a battery. What is the rating of a battery? The battery can be rated in terms of ampere hour or volt ampere hour, where volt ampere hour is also called watt hour. You know this, and you had already calculated ampere hour efficiency as well as watt hour efficiency. Now let us try to check the importance of specific gravity, or how to check the amount of electrolyte present in the battery. Okay, the amount of electrolyte present in a battery is calculated by a concept called specific gravity. Sir, what is meant by specific gravity? So specific gravity is defined as the density, it is the ratio of density of the electrolyte present. The electrolyte is H2SO4 divided by the density of water. So here the electrolyte used in this lead acid battery is nothing but an sulfuric acid, H2SO4. Okay, so the density of sulfuric acid, the density can be expressed as 1 gram per 1 centimeter of density available in H2SO4, 1 gram per 1 centimeter of water density. So when you perform, it is going to get you the value of 1.2 per an sulfuric acid. Okay, and you see here numerator is also density, denominator is also an density, like in comparison. Automatically there is no units for specific gravity. Why? Because density by density, it's a unitless quantity, is the specific gravity. So generally for a lead acid battery you are going to get this value as 1.2 times. It's nothing but 1.2. What is the meaning of 1.2? Is it is 1.2 times the weight of pure water. Okay, now coming to the how to measure the specific gravity of an battery. Okay, so here you have the battery. We are going to measure the specific gravity of this battery. So in order to measure the specific gravity, we are going to buy a meter, where this meter is called a hydrometer. Okay, so this is used to check how much amount of electrolyte is present inside the battery, and the structure is seems to be like this. Okay, base you have a sucker, and the bottom you have some sort of a pump type of mechanism. When you press this pump, automatically it will suck the water, and automatically you have a head inside. So this is called as a mercury head, and we call this head as a float stem. Okay, this is called as a float stem, and on this float stem, for layman language also, if the battery is damaged, it will be indicated in red color. If the battery is good, healthy, it will be indicated as an yellow color. If it has to be recharged, it will be shown as the violet color. Okay, now let's try to check the quality of the battery. By using this battery also, we can say what is the amount of charging available in the battery. Okay, so this amount of charging available in a battery is called state of charge. SOC is called state of charge. State of charge is nothing but the percentage of charging available in the battery. So generally this also will be shown in your mobile phone. When you take your mobile phone, it will be shown like an 100%, 90%, which is nothing but the state of charge of the battery. So now this battery we are having, let us try to check the state of charge of this battery. Okay, for example, if you obtain 1 as a specific gravity value, then how much amount of charging is there in that battery? 100%. If you got 1.258, the amount of charging available is how much? 90%. If you got 1.217, 70% of charging is available. Similarly, if you get 1.073, then amount of charging available is 10%. If the charging is very less, then you have to keep the charging. Okay, and we want to do some sort of adding a distilled water, that we'll discuss after testing this experiment. So see this to us, and we want to check what is the amount of electrolyte available in the battery and amount of charging available in this battery. So generally, if you connect a voltmeter, it will show the voltage level. That's called open circuit voltage, but it doesn't give the full load voltage. Why? Because under loaded condition the voltage will decrease. Let us try to check the amount of state of charge in this battery. You see here, so you have what is the rating of this battery? 12 volts, and this is called cell. Each cell will carry a voltage of 2 volts. 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 2, 8, 8 plus 2, 10, 10 plus 2, 12. All 6 cells are connected in series connection. Each cell will develop a voltage of 2 volts. So whether the electrolyte is available is in an accurate level or how much level it is available, we can measure it. Just insert into the cell and just squeeze it. Okay, when you squeeze it, automatically it will suck out the amount of so this is, you should not touch this water because it is a combination of water and H2SO4. And now you can see here the value it is going to indicate. So it is going to indicate as 1.15. Okay, so how much it is indicating? 1.15. Let us try to check out in our experiment. Okay, so when you are going to check in our experiment, 1.5. So how much it is? 1.15. So what is the amount of charging available in the battery? 50%. So by using this hydrometer, I have been identify the amount of charging available in the battery. So the amount of charging available is how much now? 50%. 50%. Now what I have to do to get the value of 1.277? We have to use some sort of, we have to charge the battery, or we have to use some mechanism. For example, the distilled water is healthy or no? You see these levels. If it is, for example, I am performing the test again for your clarity. So it is not showing red. Okay, so now in one cell it is showing a red color. How much? It is showing 1.1. 1.1 means how much? So only 30%. Okay, so each cell we have to check the water level. Each should have which color? The violet color, and I can say that the battery is in which condition? Good condition. If it shows yellow color, the battery is 100% charged. There's no need to change the distilled water. Now it is showing red color. We have to fill the water in this cell. Okay, so that's why how we have to fill the distilled water. Okay, and you should not touch this with your hand. Why? Because this is made up of H2SO4. So now identify 50%. One cell is having 30%. You can see here. That is how to measure the specific gravity of each cell. For example, you got high specific gravity. For example, you got 1.277. Okay. Now what you have to do is we want to fill with distilled water. Okay. So in order to maintain the required amount of specific gravity, you have to add which water? Distilled water. Already one is showing the red color. So one cell is showing how much? Very, very less amount of specific gravity. Then what you have to do? You should add the which water? Distilled water. Now let's try to understand in this class what is this market, what it is selling as distilled water. Distilled water is added to the solar cell to maintain the required level of electrolyte. If you maintain the required amount of electrolyte, automatically you can maintain the required level of specific gravity. So how much specific gravity you have to maintain? 1.27. For example, specific gravity is very, very less. You try to add the distilled water and try to maintain this level, or you can perform it by charging also. Okay, so before performing charging, we have to see that all the levels of each cell should have the which healthy level. Okay, so for this we are going to fill each cell with an distilled water. Sir, what is this distilled water? This distilled water is called as a pure form of water or a pure water. This water should be free from, or it should not contain any mineral, it should not contain any salt, it should not contain any chloride, and it should not contain any iron. Sir, why it should not contain? And this distilled water should not contain any calcium, sodium and manganese. Sir, if we directly use normal water to maintain the level of specific gravity, what will happen? Okay, in normal water, all these minerals and all this calcium, sodium, magnesium are there, they will spoil the electrodes. Okay, so this positive and negative electrode, no, it will spoil, it will become like a powder. Internally also it will get spoiled. Okay, so that's why you should not use a normal water to fill the level of battery level. Okay, and this distilled water, while what you are going to get from the market, should have a pH value of 5.5 to 7.5. the pH value should be maintained. And how much amount of specific gravity, the chloride should be there in this distilled water is 0.001 gram per centimeter should be the specific gravity, and silicate should be maintained as 0.0001, sulfate should be maintained as 0.001 gram per centimeter, and iron should be maintained as 0.007 gram per centimeter, and permanganate should be maintained as 0.004. Okay, so all this combination, when you go to a battery manufacturer shop, they will provide you an distilled water. So when you have to fill with the distilled water, when the state of charge is very low, how much value it has shown in one cell? Red color. How much it is showing now? 1.1. Then what you have to do? You should top up with distilled water which has all these characteristics and minerals, and we have to keep the charging, and after performing the test it will show the specific gravity as how much? 1.277, and the battery is healthy now. So we had restored a old battery to a full healthy battery by performing what? Distilled water. Okay, so this is nothing but distilled water, and the type of meter used to measure the specific gravity is nothing but hydrometer. Very simple. It has a nozzle. Just insert into the cell and just apply some pressure. Automatically water will be sucked inside. Again, what is the color it is showing? Red color. And what is that value? 1.0. 1.0 means where it comes? 10%. So what I have to do with this cell? I have to top up with which water? Distilled water, and then I have to keep the charging. Now what is the amount of charging available? Only 10%. After doping with distilled water and after keeping charging, it will get how much amount of percentage? 100%. This is all about how to check the specific gravity of an meter, and this is under which condition? Just only how amount of specific gravity you have to maintain in the battery, and we have a battery tester to test the health of this battery also, and we have an voltmeter also we can check. But measuring the voltmeter and specific gravity will not get the original rating of the battery under full load condition. When you will get the full load condition? Only when we load. That's why we have a battery tester experiment to perform it. Okay, so that is how to maintain a battery in an solar system, or how to identify the specific gravity in an solar system, or if you want to manufacture, or if you want to keep an battery shop, or if you